Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I welcome you back in our live show, Wednesday's live show. So, if you guys are able to hear us properly, please give me a thumbs up and you can start posting your questions. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, as well as on TikTok, and we will take questions from all platforms. But when it becomes too crowded, I would prefer to take questions mostly on YouTube and Facebook because it is easier for us to share the question with you so everyone knows what discussions we are having. I want to let everyone know that the information that you receive in these live shows is generic only and it may not directly apply to your individual circumstances. If you need information that applies to your individual circumstances, you would be required to discuss that in person with me, and you can do so by visiting our website and booking an appointment from there. Okay, so we'll be focusing on employer sponsored visas as well as general skilled migration. We will also be taking questions in relation to partner visas or student visas and 485 visas. So please start posting your questions. So Nasir Iqbal is saying hi. Hi, Nasir. Please post your question and we'll be happy to answer your questions. All right.
Hello everyone from TikTok.
So start posting your questions, guys. So for those who are new to our live shows, let's get through some introduction.
Hello Gurjeet.
My name is Mahinder and I'm a registered migration agent. I am assisted by most of the times by Mr. Manjot. Manjot is also a team member. He mostly looks after the education side of things and assists me around the migration work as well. So if you have any questions, you can start posting your questions. And if you guys are watching a live show for the first time, please hit that follow or subscribe button. We conduct these live shows very frequently. And also many people say, because most of our content is in English, many people think that I don't speak Hindi or Punjabi and other languages. So just letting you know कि मैं हिंदी में भी बात कर सकता हूँ, पंजाबी में भी communicate कर सकता हूँ. So feel free to ask any question in any language. We'll be happy to help. Okay. All right. So, and also help me in double tapping the screen if you're on TikTok, and help me in sharing this live on your Facebook or Insta or YouTube, wherever you are. So we get a lot of people and we get a lot of interaction and a lot of questions. Okay. So not a lot happening on YouTube and Facebook. So we will pick some questions from TikTok. Yeah, from TikTok. So can you please help me with?
So Gurjeet is saying, sir, how many days we can stay outside from Australia on 491?
All right. So I know recently I also watched one of the video from one of our fellow migration agents, and the person was explaining that for 491 you are eligible to apply for 191 if you if you are in Australia, you have to stay in a regional area, or you are completely staying offshore. Okay, so this is something the migration agent who was explaining had a detailed discussion in that video, and I think that is something misguiding a lot of people. Remember, guys, you got to understand one thing. I agree. You need to understand one thing, that Australian rules and regulations are framed to benefit Australian citizens and permanent residents, which is general population in Australia. So when some state gives you a subclass 491 visa nomination, they expect you to live in that state and contribute to that state with your skills. When you apply for a visa in future, then you are required to meet the conditions of your previous visa. Now, the legislation, what happens, because 491 visa is a reasonably new visa, okay, and the applicants for 191 are only handful. Not everyone is eligible to apply for 191. You only become eligible to apply for 191 after certain after minimum 3 years. So there would be certain loopholes in 191, but in the due course of time, I believe that government would realize that yes, we are offering these nominations to people and they have this 491 visa and they're not coming to regional area and they're just staying offshore and applying 191 visa from there and coming to Australia only when they are permanent. And when you are permanent visa holder in Australia, you are not likely to stay in regional areas. So this loophole will be blocked very soon, even if it is true. We never recommend outside the scope of migration policies and regulations and rules and regulations, because as a migration agent, we have one duty to maintain the service standard to our clients, but we also have the same duty to the Department of Home Affairs to not exploit the rules and regulations in the benefit of the clients and completely ignoring the benefits of a general public in Australia. So what I would recommend, if you are a 491 visa holder, try, if you have to spend some time offshore due to genuine reasons, no problems whatsoever, but don't take it as a strategy that yes, you can apply for 191 even if you stay offshore. Why would I stay in regional Australia? What happens if tomorrow they frame the regulation
I think
against
1
it?
or 2 months may be fine.
Yeah, so 1-2 months, even 3 months is fine, but that should not be your main strategy, that you want to avoid to stay in a regional area, but you want to come to Australia and stay in Sydney, Melbourne, and that defeats the whole purpose of this visa subclass, this whole visa. So please make sure you do the right thing, because the right thing is always right thing to do. Okay, so lots of questions they got scrolled up, so please start posting your questions again. And I would recommend everyone who is watching us on TikTok, please bring all the questions on Facebook or on YouTube, because we are live simultaneously on Facebook as well as YouTube as well. It gives us an opportunity to display the question on the screen so everyone knows what we are discussing and what the question is and what discussions we are having. Okay, Sandeep is asking chances of Cook. Sandeep's question is chances of Cook for 491 at 85 points in Western Australia. I really can't say much, because Western Australia has almost exhausted their given number of places for 491 and 190. Now, what will happen? They gave a big round, I think, in the month of December. Not everyone will be eligible to get nomination, and some places may become available maybe next couple of months, and those nominations would be given to the second in line or the people who are waiting for nominations. Your points at 85 your points are very, very good. 85 points for a Cook are very, very good. If you're, what I would recommend you, if your current visa is valid for next 6 or 8 months, you can wait, but simultaneously you can also have chat with your employer and get ready for employer sponsored visa or any other visa option if you have in pipeline. Okay.
Bhumika Gautam is saying what about dependent visa? So which dependent visa are you talking about, Bhumika? So
guys, when you type your question, please make sure to give us a bit of background
Yes.
as well. Try to give us as much as information possible, because it would be easier for us to answer your question.
So we have 91 peoples on board. So if you haven't followed us so far, please follow us for getting a new updates.
Eki na hai, Punjabi.
Sachiyan Gallan Cook or chef in a cafe in Brisbane. Please, is there any chance of PR?
ਦੇਖੋ ਸੱਚੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ, ਬ੍ਰਿਸਬੇਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁੱਕ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੋ ਕੈਫੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਐਮਪਲੋਇਰ ਸਪਾਂਸਰਡ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬ੍ਰਿਸਬੇਨ ਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 491 190 ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ 600 ਸੀਟਸ ਹਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਐਮਪਲੋਇਰ ਸਪਾਂਸਰਡ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਕੁਡ ਬੀ ਵਨ ਆਫ ਦ ਆਪਸ਼ਨ ਫॉर ਯੂ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਦੇਖੋ। ਓਕੇ,
Diksha, will be there any 189 in Jan or Feb?
Very good question. So that is a question that is being asked very commonly these days. So would there be any 189 round? So 189 rounds, we had one round in the month of September, another one was in the month of November. Okay, generally 189 rounds come after 60 days, because when a round happens, and the Department of Home Affairs invite people to lodge their visa application, they give 60 days. So after 60 days, the invites that get converted into visa lodgements, that's fine. The ones that do not get converted into visa lodgement, those invites become available for the next round. So I believe there would be small round from the places that become available because previous invites did not get converted into those visa lodgements.
Yes.
I'm not sure how many places, but if I look at last year's trend, in last year we had a small round, roughly 5,000 invitations in the month of May. But last year we only had 2 rounds, December and May. But this year we have had 2 rounds already. So we expect one more round definitely before the end of this financial year. But how big that round is going to be, it is very difficult to predict. But expect anything between 3 to 4,000 places, or close to that number. This is just like my prediction.
Dipendra Shah, what are the conditions for working holiday visas from India?
Before I go to Dipender's question, we're going to pick this question from Sanjay Gupta. Sanjay is asking, I'm working as a support worker. My company is willing to sponsor me. I got 1.5 years of experience. Can I apply for 186 after 1.5 years being on 482? How much so you charge for 482 from SBS to visa? Okay, so Sanjay Gupta, your question does not seem to be that simple. Okay, number one, so if you're working as a support worker, okay, so if you're working as a I believe you're talking about aged care worker or aged care worker or support worker in the aged care industry. If that is the case, then there is already an agreement in place, aged care agreement. You can go for subclass 482 visa. If your aged care already has approved labor agreement, aged care labor agreement, then you can just do 186 and you can just do nomination and the visa lodgement. So if your employer already has the approval of aged care labor agreement, then you can go in that direction, nomination and the visa lodgement. Can you do 186 direct entry? No.
So Sanjay Gupta is saying in the next comment that they don't have a labor agreement.
If they don't have labor agreement, then they need to first access the labor agreement. So it is not SBS, it is labor agreement. So labor agreement is a different process than SBS. They don't need to have SBS. SBS is only required if you are going for subclass 482 under standard stream or skills in demand visa under standard stream, or you're going for subclass 494. You only then need that SBS. But you don't need, if you go under labor agreement, then the replacement of SBS for labor agreement is actually the process of labor agreement. We call it a placement of labor agreement or application for labor agreement. So if they don't have labor agreement, first they need to access the labor agreement. Once the labor agreement is processed, then you can go for nomination and the visa lodgement. So if your aged care provider wants to do labor agreement, I'm not sure what area they are located in. If they are located in, say, South Australia, this whole South Australia, you can do the labor agreement here. So no problems whatsoever. But you need to keep in mind the timeline. It can be a process that can take time, and you also need to consider expenses. So what is the average cost of the placing a labor agreement? So if you're going under labor agreement, it could vary anything close to 7,000 plus 7 to 8,000 depending on complexity of the work, or a little bit higher or a little bit lower. So if you want to talk, if your employer wants to talk to me regarding the labor agreement, please head to my website at www.eems.com.au and book appointment from there. Okay. Felix is asking, I recently got married. What's the maturity before we start a subsequent entry visa process? What's the maturity? I'm not sure what is the meaning of maturity, but if you are an Australian citizen or permanent resident, and if you have recently got married overseas, you want to bring your spouse to Australia, there could be options of going for onshore partner visa if your spouse is able to come to Australia on another visa, say visitor visa or something, and or it could be even offshore partner visa. So that is the case if you are Australian citizen or permanent resident. But if you are other visa holder, say 485 visa holder, then we do subsequent entrant 485. If you are a student visa holder, then we do subsequent entrant student visa. So depending upon your visa status, we can look for
primary applicant visa conditions.
Yeah, so
visa status.
Yeah, we can look at application for secondary applicant. So what I would recommend, Felix, if you want to discuss in detail, you can head to our website and you can book appointment. We'll be happy to help. Okay.
So Zindagi is saying, can we get married on a tourist visa here?
Very good question. So can we get married on a tourist visa here? Why not?
Yes.
No one stops you from getting married. Yeah. As such, there's no issue as such in getting married.
There no problem. If you want to marry, then you can.
There's no problem as such.
So Sarojit Kari, Japan, Bata, Australia, Jana, Melexa, sir. So Sarojit Kari, first of all, we want to
please type your question in English.
We are not Nepalese. We can speak Hindi, Punjabi, and English, and we are from Indian origins. But we can, if you can type your question in English, then we are happy to answer.
Okay. I'm going to take a next question from Naveen Rijal. Is asking changes of 190 or 491 from New South Wales ECT 70 points. Changes, I think you wanted to ask chances or Perth currently residing in New South Wales. So there are multiple facets to this particular question. Let me help you in finding.
786. So,
yeah.
Yes. First of all, you will answer.
Yeah, so just give me one
I'll
second.
reserve this question. So my friend
Guys, please hold on. There are lots of questions coming. The best way is to bring your question on YouTube and on Facebook because we can show the question, share the screen. Okay. So, but when there are no questions there, we're going to come back to you on TikTok as well. So we are trying to read the question as well, so everyone knows what is the question, and we are trying to share screen as well on especially on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, so please bring all the questions there if you can. Just give me one sec. I'm just looking at early childhood teacher scope.
Hold on, Saroj.
So just hold on, please.
So we are answering one question from YouTube, then we will answer your question as well.
So this question is related to scope of early childhood teacher. Let's again read the question again. Before that, just give me one sec. Okay. So the question was whether what is the scope for 190 or 491 from New South Wales as ECT at 70 points. So let's have a look at New South Wales. So if you see here, New South Wales has 1,334 EOIs for 190 as an early childhood teacher.
Total.
We don't know how many of them are onshore and how many of them are offshore. I believe at least 60 to 70% of them are just onshore in Australia. So if I take 70% of that number, that would be roughly 1,000. Now, so we have 1,000 places, and I'm only going to look at how many people are sitting on 70 or higher points. So you can see on 70 or higher points, there are 900. So this column does not give us division in state. So basically, for state, we only go for this figure here. So if 1,000 people are located in New South Wales, and I believe there would be people sitting on 85 or 80 or 85 points or even higher points. So at 70 points, you are not going to be very competitive for 190 in New South Wales. Okay. 491, can you be eligible for 491? For 491, there is another pathway, direct pathway 1 state nomination application. So if that requires you to have at least 6 months of work experience. So fine, if you want to stay within New South Wales, think about moving to regional New South Wales with a full-time job in hand. So if not now, 6 months down the track, you become eligible. If not, try to improve your points. If you're able to gain 80 or higher points, probably it is going to increase your chances much better than your current points. And what is the scope in Perth? So in Perth, they can give you 491, but again, don't rely on Western Australia because they have most of the places they have exhausted in the latest round, and there may be some places becoming available with them in future, but how many they offer to early childhood, that is a question to be asked, because mainly they are prioritizing construction. Even education is also one of their priority. Education, construction, and health is their priority, but still at 70 points you're going to be less competitive. Okay. All right.
So Sangam Karki, how long it takes for the 491 subsequent entrant after S56 request? Sangam Karki, I have seen the trend. They are taking almost 3 months.
Yeah, 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months.
Easy,
S56
easy 2 to 3
request,
months.
yes.
But at the same time, if your occupation is in high priority, for example, early childhood teacher.
But this is a subsequent entrant visa.
Oh yeah, subsequent, yes. Yeah.
But for the primary,
it could be different.
For the primary visa, it may be soon.
Yeah.
But for the subsequent entrant, they are taking 3 months approximately for.
So again, Sanjay Gupta has many follow-up questions. Sanjay was asking that your company is NDIS company. That's fine, as long as they are. If you are located in Adelaide, whole South Australia is under DAMA. So that means if you have NDIS provider, they can do labor agreement and give you employer sponsor visa. No problems with that. Please reach out to us.
So yes, Rojat Kari, can you type your question again, please? What were you saying? So you were saying that so you want to travel from Japan to Australia. So yes, it may be possible. It depends upon your circumstances, whatever you are working. So according to your work and skills and maybe your qualification, it may be possible that you can come to Australia. But
it depends. I mean, I'm not sure. So if you want to come to Australia just for visit, then tourist visa could be an option. But if you come to Australia on a tourist visa and here while in Australia you want to look for other options, you would have very limited options. Another option could be coming to Australia on a student visa. Okay, that could also be explored. But
it's not possible on a tourist visa. If you are saying about like moving
to Australia on a tourist visa, you can't do student visa on shore because that is not possible now.
Tourist visa may be easy for you, but if you want to explore on
other options
and you want to come for a visit only, that may be an option. Yeah.
Tinu Dominic is asking, can you still study after AET refused the student visa? Tinu, can you still study after AET has refused study visa? So if AET has refused the study visa, there is another option for you to challenge the decision in Federal Circuit Court. And when the case goes to Federal Circuit Court, it may help you to buy some more time. And during that time, you can figure out your pathways. Okay. So Tino, please discuss with your migration agent and plan your next 1 to 2 years with him or her. So you have better options available after, if a negative outcome comes after your Federal Circuit Court. And if you're able to make a valid application in Federal Circuit Court, and if you're continue to be on your current bridging visa, you need to materialize some other visa in between. Okay. Sneha Pradhan is asking, RN and NEC chances of 75 points in 189 and 80 points for 190 in New South Wales. Let's have a quick look at registered nurse NEC. You right?
Yep, I'm fine. I've got one email.
Okay. All right. So let's have a look at a registered nurse.
Registered nurse, so with 75 points.
Okay, so there we go. So registered nurse with 75 points. You're able to see my screen. In New South Wales. So in New South Wales, we have over 2,000 registered nurses, 2,280. And I believe 70% of them, they are onshore. If they are onshore, then I believe there are roughly 17 or 1,800 approximately onshore. And I really cannot say how many in New South Wales out of these numbers, but at 75 points, if I look at, especially at this column here for 189, at 75 points and higher, we do not have like big numbers. We only have like 400 or 500. But would there be any 189 round? Now, that is one thing that you need to consider. And if 189 round does not happen, many of these people who are currently located in New South Wales, they are also competing for 192. So the competition is high. But I believe 75 points are still reasonable for registered nurses, subject to other things such as your employment, and where you are currently employed, whether it is full-time and things like that, because states consider multiple different factors. So you would have reasonable chances for 190 from New South Wales, as well as reasonable chances for 189 as well. If there is any room for you to improve your points by 5 more, please continue to work on that.
So yes, Kedip Gates from TikTok is saying, what are the prospects of nursing in Australia? And I think he will be completing enroll nurse in.
So good question. Enroll nurse. So remember, guys, currently enroll nurses are kind of struggling. If you look at South Australia has given not invited status to many enroll nurses, especially those whose employment is not strong. So if you are an enrolled nurse, okay, and if you are desperate to land in one or the other skilled visa, my sole recommendation to you would be to move to regional area, okay, with full-time job offer, if your visa authorizes you to do so. So think about moving to regional area with full-time job offer, okay. So that means if not 190, then 491 could be an option. And in regional areas, there are better chances for you to get even employer-sponsored visa rather than just waiting from the states to invite you. So that could be your strategy.
So kids, if you still have a 3 years of visa, try to get enrolled into the RN.
RN, yeah. So if someone has 3 years of visa, say if you have completed a bachelor's degree in a regional area, you'll get 2 years visa plus 1 year extension. That means you have total 3 years. And if you hold a bachelor's degree, it is worth considering studying RN for 2 years undergraduate entry program. So there are many universities offering 2 years of graduate entry RN that will allow you to have skills assessment as a registered nurse, and also a fruitful career, rewarding career, and your PR options would be pretty good as well, because PR are PR is pretty good, pretty easy as a registered nurse. Okay.
Akshay Mahajan, hi, hello Akshay.
Junaid Afzal, sir, do we need to complete medical for 189 in 28 days? Very good question. So remember, guys, nowadays what is happening when you lodge subclass, any visa, say student visa, 485 visa, 189, 491, 190, or any other visa, the Department of Home Affairs is going to send you automated Section 56 request for medical examination. Okay, so the rule is within 28 days. If your medical is not done within 28 days, what I would recommend you, say, suppose if you get this, if you lodge your visa today, and if you go to Bupa's website and you're able to see the date is not available within 28 days, but you book your date 3 months down the track. So if you book it 3 months down the track, please take that screenshot and attach with your visa application. So the case officer knows that you have booked your examination, which is beyond 28 days. So they will generally not send, refuse your visa. But if you have booked your examination after 28 days and has not supplied them any information that your examination is booked, because that Section 56 request says that you have to provide that information within 28 days.
Yes.
So if you don't do so, the case officer has the right, has the discretion to refuse your visa application. And then what will happen? You can win that in 80. It is easy to win that case in 80 if the case officer only refuses your application on the basis of the medical not being completed within 28 days. It is easy to win it, but look at the cost. So cost and complications associated with it. So just be safe. If your medical examination is after 28 days, supply them some kind of a receipt. And if you have a smart migration agent, we do that all the times with our clients. When we lodge a visa application, we tell them, okay, so if your medical is not within 28 days, please supply us the receipt. So you attach the receipt as well. We have never had any case in which applicant's visa was refused because the medical was not completed in 28 days. But I have dealt with many ART cases where the applicant's visa was refused because the medical was not done within 28 days. And in those cases, no information was given to the case officer within those 28 days whether the applicant is going to do the medical examination or not. Okay, I hope that helps.
So SRD from TikTok is saying, if we do PhD in Australia, can we get PR directly in any state after graduation? No. So SRD, it may not be possible to get the directly PR after PhD, but you may get the PR according to your previous qualification or previous experience, or you can work, I think, full-time on a PhD. Those people who are doing PhD, I think they may have
so
full-time working.
So basically, irrespective of your education, in the category of general skilled migration, we have 189, we have 190, and we have 491. Now, yes. 491 and 190 are state-based visas. Okay, so if some state says that if you have done PhD in certain area, we are going to give you 190 or 491 nomination, irrespective of whatever, then it's okay. But like in in Victoria 3-4 years back, they had a special stream. They were prioritizing.
I think even the South Australia had that stream, but at the moment,
not South Australia.
I think in the talent something program.
No, that's a different thing. No, so but Victoria had that scheme. If you were a PhD holder with certain number of publications, that was 4-5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
If that kind of thing comes for state nomination, then yes. But if not, then you still need to have skills assessment, irrespective of state's criteria. But at this stage, there is no state that is offering you state nomination because of your PhD degree. So you would still have to go through skills assessment, meet the state's requirement, and things like that. But remember, PhDs, Australia wants to retain PhDs. You would have higher chances as compared to everyone else for state nomination and even for 189 if you have PhD degree, because PhD degree also gives you high points too. Okay. All right, so continue asking questions, guys. I'm taking this question from Shoaib Sahid, organization and methods analyst, 224712. Can you please show backlog 80 points 491 any chances? So 224712. Okay, have a look at the screen. So this occupation is only available for 491 and 190. But there are a lot of people sitting at different points. Definitely a lot of people at 75 plus points. And in this financial year, as we have a less number of places for 491 and 190, I highly doubt in any 491 can come in this occupation from any state. Maybe next year, if we have relatively higher quota, you may have better chances. And continue improving your points, because you should be sitting on top points, maybe around 90 or 95. Even if they give you 5 or 10 invites, you should be the one receiving it. So points are going to be really, really important. Okay, next question.
So yes, Bajwa, what's the time period for 186? It may be 7 to 8 months. I think we have checked recently. I think it was 7 to 8 months.
7 to 8
Asim
months.
Joshi earning 339.9 an hour as a community caseworker, but part-time 30 hours. Eligible for 491 pathway 1.
It is if you are working in New South Wales,
Regional, I think so.
yeah.
Is it for the
earning 39.9 an hour as community case worker, but part-time 30 hours eligible for. If you're working for last 6 months with the same employer, then yes, you're eligible, no problems whatsoever. If you want us to assist you with this process, please head to our website at www.eems.com.au and book appointment, please.
Guys, those haven't followed us so far, please follow us for getting new updates and getting information regarding visas, Australian visas.
Sunita Bandari is asking chances of getting 190, 189 from early childhood teacher with 70 points in New South Wales. 485 expires in March 2025. Sunita, seems to be relatively less chances. I'm not sure you are working as a early childhood teacher or not, but if you are currently employed as a early childhood teacher, for 189 the chances are limited at 70 points, but for 190 you never know. They are considering many different factors, so New South Wales still has a lot of places remaining for 190 and 491. Elizabeth is asking, hi there is there sponsored visa for truck drivers or mining operators, are there course or license? So look, if you are located offshore and if you want us to see help you in finding the employer, we are not involved in all that stuff, so please do not reach out to us, especially truck drivers and any skill level 4 or labor related jobs.
And worker,
we generally do not engage in those activities where we go and approach the employer and then take money from you for connecting with the employer. We don't do all that stuff. Okay. D Brijal is asking, I have skills assessment in engineering and don't have 7H. Can I apply for 491? Of course, yes. So you are the minimum, as long as you meet minimum required points for EOI. Say if you have minimum 65 points, that means if you want to go for 491 EOI, you need minimum 50 of your own points. 15 points are contributed by states, so you meet 65 points. Even if you don't have 7 each, it's fine. With 6 each, is the minimum requirement.
But if the state is saying for some different eligibility criteria, then you have to meet that too as well. I think
this person is offshore.
Offshore, okay.
Just
if you are offshore, then
just imagining that this person is offshore. If you are onshore, you can still do EOI, but for 491 for onshore applicants, there would be other criteria.
Different criteria, yes. Because I think in Queensland they are
different criteria.
English.
Divine is asking, social worker New South Wales 190, 491 at 70 point, chances visa expiring in 2025. So social worker 190, 491 at 70 points. So I think if you have 70 your own points, you're also eligible and equally have good chances for subclass 1892. And obviously social worker can get 491 and 190 as well. I'm not sure how long you can wait, but if your visa is valid for next 6 months or some part of next financial year, then you have pretty good chances.
Aman Chaudhary, 80 is mandatory to get 190 from Victoria in ICT security specialist. So Aman Chaudhary, 80 each is not mandatory,
but preferable.
Preferable, yes.
Because high points, and Victoria is prioritizing people with high English. This is what we have seen
because there are a lot of people who those are sitting at the same level of the points. But if you want to be good enough to get the nomination or maybe pre-invite from the Victoria or any other state government, then you have to sit on the top of those people.
So on the top tier. Okay, so someone is asking, Muhammad Ziaul Haq. Muhammad, you can post your question again. I'll try. Okay, so your question was here, Muhammad. Sir, you skipped my question. Okay, Mohammed, you can post your question again. So we are picking questions from TikTok as well as on YouTube and Facebook. So we are trying our best. So you can post your question again. We'll try.
So anything about if we are doing diploma for nursing in Adelaide?
if you are someone who is doing a diploma of nursing in Adelaide, but if you have full-time work rights, say suppose you are studying a diploma in nursing on your 485 visa, soon after finishing your EN, you will have full-time work rights. I would recommend you to think about moving to regional area with the invite. So what happens when you move to regional area, you stand out. If you are in the main city area, then you are actually part of a big crowd. The moment you move to regional area, you stand out of the crowd, and that helps you to get invited from the state, because states wants to see the migrants. What is the concept of migration? The concept of migration is um, that the migrants are able to help the regional economy. Okay, so that's why this 491 visa is there. So in 491 visa asks you to live in the regional area for 3 years, but you won't go to the regional area unless you are currently working there and you get nominated by the state to live in that particular area. So if you move out to the regional area, definitely you have better chances as compared to others. But because what happens, we don't want to leave the comfort zone, because we have jobs, we have friend circle, and your life is kind of going really well. You've been living in Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, Adelaide, and you really don't want to come out of your comfort zone. Remember, guys, you only achieve things if you leave your comfort zone. If you don't leave your comfort zone, then you struggle, and that's where you become more vulnerable. You try to ask employers to give you employer sponsored visa, and the employer will ask a lot of money from you, so you're going to end up spending every single cent that you have. If you think about moving to regional area, and if you find a job there, then you're going to save money there, but your chances of getting invitation would improve remarkably. So consider moving to regional area. Which regional area you can move to? How should you plan this? You really need an experienced person to show you what you're required to do at every stage, and how you're going to target the jobs as well. So for that matter, you can connect with a proper person. If you like, you can also discuss with me. I have also lived and worked in regional areas, and I believe a lot of people don't understand how their chances are going to improve by moving to regional area. But we have seen lots of people getting invites. Lately, we moved two early childhood teachers to regional area, and we were able to get their 491 invite right away within 3 months of moving to regional area, and others are still waiting in the cities to get invited. So it is important for you to discuss that in detail with your advisor. If you like, you can book appointment with me as well. You can do so from our website, which is www.eems.com.au. Guys, continue helping us with those double taps, and continue posting questions.
So SR MBIS married in Melbourne, skill assessment, PT 7 each, Nati done, visa till March 2028. Suggestion.
MBIS ਜੇ ਮੈਲਬਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠੇ ਰਹੋਗੇ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੈ. Okay, so if you continue to stay in Melbourne, even though remember you have visa until 2028, but if you don't take steps from today, we are already in 2025, 2026, 2027. Time go like this. Okay, so if you don't have a solid plan, okay, you have the visa, but if you don't have the plan, this is the time to sit with a professional migration agent and sort out all these things. Okay, you can book appointment with me. Do so from our website at www.eems.com.
If someone have a visa pending for more than one year, then it is a time to plan with your advisor that what to do and what you can do for getting a PR.
Civil engineering technician, that is a question on YouTube, I think. At 312212, I have 75 points for subclass 491. Please show backlog 312212. I can have a quick look. 312212.
So Suzaze, what visa can I apply after finishing VET courses, community service? So please hold this question for Suze. First of all, Mohinder is answering another question from YouTube.
Okay, so civil engineering technician 312212. Let me check if I've selected the right code. Yep. All right. Let me share screen. Here we go. So you can see this occupation for 49175 points. So this occupation is also eligible for even 189, but your question is specifically related to 491. I'm not sure what state you're located in, but most of the states have like at least 400, 500 people. So you can see this column here. Lots of people are waiting for invites, and there would be lots of people on 80 or 70 points. So you don't become very competitive at 75 points at all. If you have 80 or 85 and plus points, okay, and probably relevant job as well in your EOI, then there may be chances for you to get accepted. Not much in this financial year, but hopefully next financial year if you're located offshore.
So yes, sir. So for Sue Zeze, what visa can I apply next after finishing wet course community service? Thank you.
So Suzeze, after finishing community service, you can't apply for graduate visa. Okay. The only option for you would be to continue to study, apply for bachelor's in community service or even bachelor's in human service, and continue your study. And after finishing that course, you can get 485 visa. And during that time, you can meet the criteria for general skilled migration. Okay. So please send us a message on WhatsApp right away. We can assist you with this whole process. Okay. If you apply for, you could have options to even apply for other visas such as employer sponsored visa, things like that. But you are required to meet a criteria.
If you want to discuss more options,
Yeah.
then you can book an appointment. So appointment link is given on a TikTok profile. Then you may have a better options that what to do and what may be the right advice for you.
Yeah.
According to your circumstances. So SR is saying, thank you. Do I have to enroll in any other course as well? So SR, I think you have done MBA. So what course, is there any suggestion for a course?
Depending upon what is your current job, if you are currently employed in IT related occupation, then it would be worth exploring options of employer sponsored visa and things like that, or even subclass 186 direct entry, depending upon your strength of the employment. But if you are just driving Uber and doing odd jobs, I would recommend you to consider trade. Okay. In trade occupations, that there are multiple different courses, but you got to be ready for everything. So I need to know, what is your current occupation? Do you work in construction? Do you do Uber? You work in IT and things like that? And what is your taste as well? And we also consider your family scenario too, whether you're married, you have children or not. So the things that we suggest to you are also catered to your needs and not a generic course that we want to sell to everyone. This is where we are slightly different.
SR is not employed, so kebab shop owner. So
ਕਬਾਬ ਸ਼ਾਪ ਓਨਰ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜਲਦੀ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਡਿਸੀਜਨ ਲੈਣੇ ਪੈਣੇ ਆ. ਮੇਕਿੰਗ ਮਨੀ ਇਜ਼ ਵਨ ਥਿੰਗ. Okay, remember, making money is one thing. Making your visa and line up your visa is another thing. You can make money only when you have visa. I also consult with lots of people. Sir, mere kol $1 million pay account de vich, but I don't have a visa. So first thing is your visa. Prioritize your visa first. Making money, you can always make money. Australia is a beautiful country. If you work hard here, you're gonna make money. But you need to first secure your visa. This is people don't understand this, and that's why people struggle. Okay, so मैं आपको recommend करूंगा, प्लीज अपॉइंटमेंट बुक कर ले, फिर डिस्कस कर लेते हैं क्या क्या कोर्स आप कर सकते हो, ट्रांजिशन कैसे करोगे. Okay, so we have a question from aeronautical engineer, 80 points, working as a mill manager in regional Victoria at 100K salary, superior English, partner has proficient English any chances for 190 or should I go for 491? So first of all, you are working as a mill manager and you have aeronautical, and I'm not sure your skills assessment, your superior English is there. I'm not sure your current visa. If your current visa is only valid for next few months, then you can't be a chooser. Okay, so if your visa is running out in next 2 or 3 months, or say 4 months within this financial year, I would absolutely consider going for 491. Okay, and be happy with it. But if you continue to be choosy, then you're gonna lose that opportunity. But if your visa is valid for next 12 months, it is worth for you to wait for this financial year at least for 190, and then you can opt out 491 next financial year. So depending upon your current situation, my advice will change. Okay, Shoaib, I'm not sure you're being assisted by a migration agent or not, but if not, then this is the time to seek professional help.
So Ramanjot Kaur, Bachelor Accounting done, sir, PT 7 each and skill assessment positive. What should do? Essay Ramanjot.
ਰਮਨਜੋਤ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਧੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਆਓ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਕਰੰਟ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਕਦ ਤੱਕ ਵੈਲਿਡ ਹੈ? ਰਮਨ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਕਦ ਤੱਕ ਵੈਲਿਡ ਹੈ? ਕਰੰਟ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ, ਵੀ ਨੀਡ ਟੂ ਨੋ ਦੈਟ। ਅਗਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ 2-2.5 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਹੈ, ਪਲਾਨ ਸਮਥਿੰਗ ਬੈਟਰ। ਅਗਰ ਅਕਾਊਂਟਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਕਿੱਲਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਜੇ ਅਕਾਊਂਟਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਜੌਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਗੋਇੰਗ ਟੂ ਬੀ ਵੈਰੀ
2027 ਤੱਕ ਵੈਲਿਡ ਹੈ।
2027 ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਪੀਟੀ ਚ
7 ਇੰਚ ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਬਣ ਜੂਗੀ ਗੱਲ, ਫਿਰ
ਬਣ ਸਕਦੀ
25 26 27।
ਰਮਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ, ਤੇ ਟਿਕਟੌਕ ਤੇ ਸਾਰੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ।
ਕਾਫੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਨੀਆਂ ਨਾ ਹੋਰ, ਫਿਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ she could be eligible for one or the other, if not okay. Nima Shepa is asking any chance for enrollment 75 points. I'm working as EN in Victoria Metro, also have skilled partner and proficient English. I don't think, Nima, you have much chances in Metro Melbourne. So if your visa is running out soon and you don't want to get into the hassle of employer sponsored visa and other things, then think about moving to regional Victoria with a full-time job offer. You may get invited for 491 from Victoria. And with your second follow-up question, I also just went into bridging visa for student visa from 485. From this second follow-up question, your situation is even more critical. So quicker you take this option, the better outcome you can bring for your visa. Okay, so like guys, lots of people are calling us as well during the live call. We are not taking any calls during this live show. We are not taking any calls on the live show. We may do that sometimes later, but if you want to discuss any options, your visa options with us, the best is to head to our website at www.ems.com.au and you can book consultation from there. Okay,
when it is given on a TikTok profile.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so why my Melbourne diary is asking when will the 491 round happen in Victoria. So no news so far. Hopefully there would be a round in the month of January, and the states and most of the government bodies are still they're still opening after holidays, but I hope most of these government bodies
they are refreshing their work.
Yeah, fully functional from probably early next week. So hopefully we may see some movement in terms of state nomination. XZ Venus, ECT 190 received but waiting for 189. Is that right thing to do? ECT 190 received but for waiting for 189. I'm not sure.
Why are you waiting for a 189?
XZ Venus, I'm not sure what exactly the story is. It is worth for you to talk to a registered migration agent. Okay, sometimes we have seen that people have lost their opportunities completely because of their faulty decision making. So please book appointment if you want to discuss in detail with me or someone else, other migration agent in your close area. Ram Mohindra Bhai, Ram Avi. Okay, Jashan, sir, 70 points, New South Wales, 190, working bricklayer, 71 New South Wales 190 working. Any chance for 5 months visa left?
जशन
क्रिटिकल है आ भी सकदा न्यू साउथ वेल्स से ब्रिकलेयर हो क्योंकि ब्रिकलेयर हैगे नहीं ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ 190 ਵੀ ਆ ਸਕਦਾ
ਥੋੜੇ
70
ਜਿਹੇ
points।
ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਜਸ਼ਨ ਥੋੜੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਵਧਾ ਕੇ 189 ਵੀ ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਕ ਰਾਉਂਡ ਮੇਰੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਊਗਾ
ਹਾਂ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਪਰ ਬ੍ਰਿਕਲੇਅਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਰਾਉਂਡ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਓਕੂਪੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ ਹੈ।
ਜਸ਼ਨ ਜੇ ਰੀਜਨਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਤਾਂ 491 ਵੀ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਵੀ ਅਪ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਗੇ ਤੇ ਕੁਛ ਨਾ ਕੁਛ ਮਤਲਬ 5 ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਵੀ ਘੱਟ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ
ਐਮਪਲੋਇਰ ਸਪਾਂਸਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਅਗਰ ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਵਰਕ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਤਾਂ ਐਸਆਈਡੀ ਕਰ ਲੈ ਫਿਰ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਐਸਆਈਡੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ 189 ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਸੋ देयर ਕੁਡ ਬੀ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਆਪਸ਼ਨਸ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ
ਕੰਸਲਟ ਕਰੋ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਠੀਕ
ਹੈ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਆਪਸ਼ਨ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਣੇ ਪੈਣੇ ਵੀ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਜ਼ਰੀਏ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਰਸਤਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਣਦਾ ਹੈ
ਸੋ ਵੇਅਰ ਰਮਨਜੋਤ ਕੌਰ where I can contact you sir
+61 452 169 200 ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰੋ TikTok ਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਉਧਰੋਂ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ you can also come to see us in office not tomorrow though
ਤੇਜ ਕਨਵਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੈਲੋ ਮਨਜੋਤ ਵੀਰੇ ਹੈਲੋ ਤੇਜ ਕੀ ਹਾਲ ਚਾਲ ਹੈ ਠੀਕ ਠਾਕ ਹੈ ਬਾਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈ
okay so I'm going to take this question from Bipin Dakal. Bipin is asking, is it mandatory to provide service statement from employer for VET skills assessment? I have all proofs like pay slips, contract letter, bank statement, etc. And statutory declaration, okay, along with these proof. Is it mandatory? Not necessarily mandatory. You need two or three or four different evidence. But if those evidence are not enough, they can ask you to provide this service statement as well. I'm not sure why you're not able to receive the service statement. If you do not have good terms with your employer, and if you have any communication with the employer demonstrating that, then you can also write a small submission to VETassess that your employer is not cooperative and is not able to provide you the service statement because of these reasons.
Yeah, there may be a different arrangements. Yes.
Yeah, so you've said if your employer is not willing to provide the service statement, there may be a reason. You can ask your employer you can use the same email as an evidence as long as your employment was legitimate and genuine. You had all other evidence were fine. Then you should be able to convince VETassess that it is not because you don't want to provide it, but it is because the employer is not willing to provide that service statement for XYZ reasons. Okay.
So Ramanjot Kaur, external auditors with 75 points, SA regional. So SA outer regional.
So what was that? Sorry.
External auditor with 75 points, SA regional.
External auditor with 75 points. In external auditor, ਅਗਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ job legitimate ਹੈ genuine ਹੈ accounting firm ਦੇ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ I think should be fine. But ਅਗਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਗੱਲ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ external auditor ਦੀ ਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਸ਼ੋ ਕੀਤੀ ਕੰਮ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਫਾਈਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦੇ
ਆਡਿਟ ਵਾਲੇ ਕੰਮ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾਤਰ ਵੱਡੀ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ
normally. So if you are being hired as external auditor just on books and you're working for a petrol station, then they know it, then you will never get invited because your position is not genuine. Anita Busal is asking, hi, has anyone received 189 grant from November 7 round lodged on 11/11 ECT? Have anyone received 189? No, we have received 491 within a couple of months. So you can you can receive invite soon. Pavanjit Victoria Chef 75 for 189, 491 with 90. Victoria Chef 75.
72k salary. Single.
Applied 482 as visa expired. If you've already applied 482, you are on a bridging visa. I really doubt they will consider you for 491.
But fingers they are already targeting 482.
Yeah, they know that. The problem is when you have applied for 482 visa, because if you get 491 visa, then you are going to leave the employer. The employer has spent a lot of money in the nomination and all those things, and
So logic
the,
is
the
this.
government, yeah, the government do not want the employer to get ripped off. So first thing, they are going to lose that money. Second thing, they are going to lose the worker, because if the employer invites, if the state invites them for 491, then it may not be beneficial for employers. So they are quite fussy with inviting people who are holding subclass 482 visa already.
So Ram Subedi, 186 का processing time I think 6 to 7 months है. I think is this? I need to check it again because मैंने recently check किया था. मैं आपको
Which one?
186 का time. राम सुबेदी है. वो पूछ रहे हैं कि कितना time है.
186 का.
So let me check visa processing time for you. ज़्यादा हो गया.
17 months.
17 months, yes.
Gosh, because lots
For
of
the
people,
it's for the direct entry, it is 17 months. So if
lots
we
of people
check,
have lost this visa. I hope they get better in future. Okay, guys, if you
so
have
17 month है इसका 186 का
अभी current processing times.
yes.
Okay, guys, अगर आपने अभी तक हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है या फिर फॉलो नहीं किया, this is the time to do so. Okay, so अभी next कुछ minutes में I'm only going to pick questions from the people who are new subscribers, especially on TikTok. So if you're watching us live right now and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, this is the time to do so. Whether you, no matter what social media platform you're watching it, subscribe karo, follow karo, whatever is possible, so you don't miss our live show in future.
Father Yasat from YouTube is saying, so today I have seen some 29 France will launch on 10 November 2024. So फहद, अगर आपका जो ऑक्यूपेशन है वो अगर प्रायोरिटी में है तो आपकी ग्रांट जल्दी आ सकती है, वरना वो थोड़ा टाइम भी ले सकती है.
So
आपका वीजा लॉन्च हो गया है, अब आप
just wait,
शांत
जब ये आ
रहें.
जाएगा, शांत रहें, आ जाएगा, ठीक है. अगर लॉन्च हो गया, इनवाइट आ गया, सब कुछ ठीक है, तो it should be fine. Sir, one more thing is that does local recruitment agencies in Australia are helpful to find professional job? Seek Indeed platform are enough. Yeah, look, they're not going to consider you unless you are in Australia. So first get the visa grant, come to Australia, then explore your options. It is not easy to find job in Australia in the professional domain. The reason being, people from offshore, unless you have worked in a country which is at the same level of Australia, such as Canada, New Zealand, Australia, UK, or any of these 4 countries, or some countries in Europe, unless you have worked in those countries, your skills will not be at the same level as required in Australia. Not only just the skills, but your overall presentation, your communication, your level of English, how you present yourself.
There are a lot of things.
There are lots of things to find job, right?
There's a big difference between the new person and with the experienced person.
So 90% of the people don't find job in their occupation right away. Some people, if they are very consistent in their approach, if they develop their skills, if they gain the skills, they understand they learn quickly, they're able to land themselves in professional jobs. But most of the migrants, 90% of them, they do something else. Some people do something else by choice. Some people do something else because they don't understand the local culture, especially if you are coming from a well-established position already and you are sitting on top of your hierarchy, especially if you're in India and Pakistan and countries like that. When you become officer, you don't do anything in hand. In Australia, all of a sudden you're required to do work with hands if you go in professional jobs. तो यहाँ पे इंजीनियर हो तो भी हथौड़ा उठाता है, अगर हथौड़ा नहीं उठाएगा तो कोई इंजीनियर नहीं. So it's a different world. आपका 189 आ गया है, आपने लॉन्च कर दिया है, you land here, then your journey will start. Okay, and everyone has the same story, including me. So everyone. उनको ज्यादा स्ट्रगल होता है जो वहां से प्रोफेशनल जॉब के साथ स्किल्ड वीजा पे आते हैं. दे स्ट्रगल इवन मोर. If you come to Australia as on a student visa, then you got nothing to lose because आपने already difficult time देखा होता है.
Yes, exactly.
So it is relatively easier for them. But अगर आप skilled visa पे ऑस्ट्रेलिया आते हो तो एक तरीका तो है कि you don't undergo the stress as a student visa holder in Australia. But student visa में जब आप
that stress is a different stress.
A different stress. So
Yes.
different चीजें हैं. So
Yeah.
just wait and take it easy. Get your visa grant. Come to Australia. Then work out all those things. Alina is saying, I only have 70 points single for single bachelor ECT. What visa should I lodge UI? So Alina, you need to first consider where you are currently located. What are the requirements for nomination in that particular state? And you also need to understand if the state is prioritizing people with relevant job or not. So on the basis of that, you decide. Okay, but at 70 points, if you really want invite quickly, then think about 491 rather than 190. Brother, what are the key factors of art dismissal? I'm not sure what is art dismissal. I'm not sure what this question is related to.
So Muhammad Umar Rafiq, we are unable to understand this question. Okay. So
Amrinder कह रहा है कि any chances 80 points draft person Western Australia.
ਅਮਰਿੰਦਰ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਥੋੜੇ ਜਿਹਾ ਹੋਰ ਵਧਾ ਲਾ ਬਈ. ਲੱਕ ਹੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਗੇਮ ਤਾਂ ਤੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਖੇਡੀ ਹੈਗੀ. ਹੁਣ ਅੱਗੇ ਵੀ ਗੇਮ ਹੀ ਹੈ.
ਹਾਂ ਬਸ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ
ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਰਹਿ ਗਿਆ ਬਸ ਉਹ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਕਿਤਾਬ. So 186 visa requirements. So Freebird. So it is a Freebird is saying 186 visa requirements.
Very, very simple question, okay, but involves a lot of things. Okay, let's go one by one. So first of all, 186 visa is an employer-sponsored visa. You need an employer to sponsor you. If you don't have an employer to sponsor you, you can't do this visa. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, you have the employer, but employer needs to meet the criteria. And what is that criteria? The employer should be running a successful business. They should have a genuine position and they should be able to pay your salary for minimum for 2 years. Okay, so that is the employer's criteria. And they should be making profit in their company. Okay, it could be a company in Australia or it could be a partnership in Australia, but profitable company. Okay, and they should not have just temporary visa holders on their payroll. So if depending upon where the employer is located, अगर उसके पास 10 टोटल एम्प्लॉई हैं तो 5 या 6 या 7 ऑस्ट्रेलियन सिटीजन या परमानेंट रेजिडेंट्स होने चाहिए. Only then they can employ overseas passport holders. Then the employee also need to the nominee or the applicant, visa applicant also needs to meet the requirements. So they are required to have minimum of 3 years of full-time work experience after their relevant qualification, should have 6 each, and should also have skills assessment and should be less than 45 years. So these are the primary requirements of employer sponsored visa surplus 186 direct entry. Okay, I hope that helps. Sir, one more thing is that does local recruitment agencies in Australia helpful to find professional jobs or Seek Indeed platform? So I think we have had a great discussion on that already. Okay, so Patience is asking, so if I'm on bridging visa for 407, will I get invite for 491, 191? As you said, they are reluctant to invite those who are on 482. Patience, very good question. I wouldn't say training visa is slightly different than other 190 and 189 and 491 and even 482. So I think training visa's duration is relatively shorter. Should not affect a lot of chances of 491 and 190 invite. But Patience, if you are on a training visa, please remember there is a high refusal rate in training visa for multiple different reasons. If you have a very strong case, then it is good to rely on training visa. But if not, then think about going for skills in demand 482 visa right now, because the work experience requirement have reduced to 1 year now. And if you subject to meeting other criteria, because if you get 482 refusal, that is a better refusal than the training visa, because 482 Can we wait for longer time? If you're still holding a bridging visa A, then probably think about 482, if that is possible right now, and withdraw your 407. And what I have seen that lots of agents have applied, not only agents, but lots of employers have given this training visa to 2, 3, 4, and even 10 people, and their company is just this small. So that means most of those visas are going to get refused. So if that get refused, say suppose if your training visa gets refused, and your duration of the training visa when you lodged it was only for say 18 months, and if you challenge that decision in ART, your file won't open in 18 months in ART. Okay, and then by the time the file opens, your time for training would have been already over. Where would you go? But if you go for skills in demand visa, and if you lodge 4 years of visa, and if your file gets refused, you would have 4 years for your file to open in ART, and by that time you can figure out other options. So there are different things you really need to consider. It is not that simple, and this is where your advisor, honest, ethical, and transparent. So honest, ethical, and transparent, you need to see these 3 qualities in your advisor, whoever is advising you on your visas. If that person meets all these qualities, they are going to show you the whole path, why and what are the pros and cons of choosing each option. Okay, it is not that simple. Let me tell you that again. Yeah, patience. I'm not sure if you don't have enough work experience for 482, 407 could be the only option. I am not sure why, but I can only advise you if I know the whole story. If you like, you can book appointment, and I'll be happy to explain you
So
further.
Jay is saying, hello sir, can I go to India and come back with the bridging visa B?
Yeah, should not be a problem.
While on bridging with BVB while on bridging visa C not active. So which
so your
visa?
C is not active. So if your C is not active, I'm not sure how you landed on bridging visa C. Even though it is not active, you can't apply for. I'm not sure you are eligible to apply for bridging visa C or not. I can't really say. You need to ask your migration agent. I'm not sure how your bridging visa C, how you received your bridging visa C. I need to know that reason. On the basis of that, answer to your question will vary. I need to know full story. Only then I can recommend you something.
Kushdeep Sidhu, completed my master's in Perth, lived 3 years there, but now in SA, I'm eligible for WA graduate stream. Kushdeep Sidhu, it depends.
Graduate stream ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ apply ਕਰਨਾ, I think there is residency criteria as well.
We need to check again.
आ क्यों गए उधरों? अगर 3 साल तक ਉੱਥੇ ਰਹੇ, ਫਿਰ ਆ क्यों गए? Number 1, ਉੱਥੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ. I'm not sure what is the entire story. ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਕੋਈ family reason ਜਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ compelling reason ਹੋਣ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ, but important for you to discuss in detail with a migration agent.
So language requirements for the TR, please.
Just give me 1 sec. Okay, Anup Singh is asking, I have my brother in India and he has a skills assessment done. So can you help me in providing employer sponsorship so that he can proceed for 482? We do not help in providing employer sponsored visa. Okay, as a migration agent, I can't engage in that activity. Okay, but if he has a skills assessment done already, he may be eligible to do EOI and ROI if he is able to improve his points, and he can get invited even for state-based visas, 491 or 190 or even 189. Okay, and in terms of providing employers, we are not in that in that game. Joe Wang is asking for 482. Will the work placement hours be considered? Please advise. For 482, will the work placement hours be considered? No. Kushdeep, any chance for more WA round? Maybe small round in Western Australia may happen. Prajbal is asking, what are the requirements for 482 SID for retail manager? So 482 SID retail manager, what are the requirements? Same requirements: 1 year of full-time work experience or part-time equivalent, and relevant qualification. Okay, and employer who can sponsor you. These are some basic requirements. Harvey is asking, sir, carpenter in Victoria, 70 points, working in field, no skilled partner, chances of subclass 190 invite. Carpenter in Victoria is in priority. Okay, so carpenter in Victoria is in priority. You have good chances of being accepted. Freebird is asking, as my partner is working in retail market and we have sponsor and got 3 years of experience, is he eligible? Please book appointment. We can discuss in detail. There are not just one thing, there are multiple things where we need to look at.
So yes, so for TR, English requirements are 6.5 band overall and 5.5 each in IELTS, and in PT it is overall 57, and there are I have on my computer, so it's a 43 for listening, 48 for reading, 42 for speaking, and 51 for writing. So technically we can say
51 each, 51 each,
51
and
each.
overall 57.
57, yes.
Raja Sohal, motor mechanic skill assessment done in South Australia and TR expire coming April. राजा सोहल, एम्प्लॉयर स्पॉन्सर वीजा ਦੀ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਕਰੋ। ਅਗਰ ਜੇ ਜੌਬ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਅਗਰ ਜੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਤੇ ਹੀ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰੋ। J, I'm on bridging visa A, federal court, will apply for bridging visa B to go to India but still have bridging visa C not active for 491. Should be fine. So should be fine. You want to apply for bridging visa B, go to India but still have bridging visa C not active for 491. I'm just wondering why you went on bridging visa C, because your application was refused. You can apply. If you get bridging visa B granted, you can go, no problems. How can you book appointment? www.
Which visa are you on at the moment? So what's the current visa?
Bridging visa A,
A.
because he's applied in Federal Circuit Court.
Okay, so you're on bridging visa A.
Yeah. So Freebird is asking, how can you book appointment? www.ems.com.au, and you can book time to talk to me from there.
This is Molly. Hi sir, this is Molly. Hello Molly, how are you? From Malaysia.
Okay.
You know Molly? Molly from Malaysia?
No, I just know her. She just said hi.
Okay.
How do you think I know Molly? मैं तो अपनी मोली नहीं कंट्रोल होनी है.
Is it necessary to have a work experience in Australia? Because until we finish our study, we don't get job.
Where does that question come from?
So wired reality of life. Wired.
Okay, so is it necessary to have work experience in Australia? Because until we finish our study, we don't get job. Is it necessary? Depends. This answer to this question depends what occupation and what state. Okay, occupation and state. Harry कह रहा है, can New Zealand citizen apply for PR in Australia? Absolutely, you can do. So if you hold New Zealand passport, you can come to Australia. You can get on arrival visa. You don't need to ask anyone. Okay, if you hold New Zealand passport, you book a ticket, you come to Australia, and they will give you subclass a 444 visa granted on the on arrival in Australia. But if you have family members who do not hold New Zealand citizenship or do not hold New Zealand passport but hold Indian or other passport, they are required to apply for visa. For that, we have a subclass of 461 visa, and we do a lot of a bulk of subclass 461s. So if that is the case, you can reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you.
So Freebird, so website is given on a TikTok profile and even on a TikTok, some of the TikTok videos. I think most of them have the website link. So you can directly put into the browser and then go for it.
Make booking from there. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp. In a reply back, you get a message which has the link to our website too.
So Osman, if someone has a 65 without positive skill assessment, can she launch EOI? No. So if anyone want to launch EOI, skill assessment is necessary.
Mandatory. Yes. Okay, guys, on Facebook and YouTube, we are going to call it a day. So I'm just ending the show there, but we'll continue to answer some